Hello there guys, assassinscreed here, and today I've got a new Assassin's Creed custom to share you all. This is the character Jacob Frye, known from the hit Ubisoft game Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Basically this is like a one-off custom comprised of two different statues. The main figure of Jacob himself was taken from the Charing Cross statue, which you got if you if you bought or pre-ordered the collector's edition of the game. Now they did two different versions of this statue. One was the Charing Cross edition, which basically featured Jacob on these railway tracks that made the Assassin's Creed logo, which I really like. And the second version was the more expensive version, which was called the Big Ben edition, where Jacob's supposed to be inside all the cogs. That's obviously inside Big Ben. This statue, I took this off the Charing Cross edition. And what I decided to do was I wanted to make a new base for him, but I wanted it to be a little bit elevated up and obviously fit in with the theme of Victorian style England or Victorian style London. So what I decided to do was I had already an old copy of an old statue called Tales of Midnight, the running edition. So basically it's a character called Tales of Midnight, and he's running on top of a rooftop, obviously fighting crime. And so what I did was basically I just took the actual statue off, and then there was a couple of seam holes where he's obviously his feet were pegged, and there was a grappling hook over here on that I had to basically grind off, and then I had to Aves epoxy over it. So this whole part here is Aves epoxied, and then sand it and smooth it right down so you can't tell. So I think that worked really well because you can't tell where any of the old pinhole plugs are where. So what I did was, after I did that, I basically added two pins, one pin in each leg for Jacob, and then I made the relevated size holes in the actual base itself, so he just fits on there. And then I added a third little hole for the base of the cane, so the cane it's not going to go nowhere, it stays where it's supposed to be. The actual base itself was fully reworked. What I did was, because I wanted this to represent more the more run down areas of London, like the Whitechapel area, I suppose. And one thing I noticed while playing the game is, while you're walking around, there's a lot of old advertisements, but they never bothered taking them down. They just replastered over the old pictures. So basically they just added new pictures over the old. So some of them are old and faded, and then some of them are more new. So basically that's what I did. I went to a doll and a doll's house kind of hobby shop kind of thing that's near where I live. And I asked them if they had any Victorian era kind of old advertisements. Luckily they did. So what I did was I took out a random few and then stuck the tops of them on there, and then ripped off the bottom. And I didn't go overboard. I didn't want to get every single bit of detail in there, because they wouldn't have plastered them to show off detail. They would have literally just stuck them up and then moved on to the next. So they're all over each other. So it's hard to tell what they're actually advertising. Like holidays by the sea, and go to the theatre and stuff like that. But obviously, with just having the top of the wall, I could only have the top of the posters. So this one here, I think this was advertising the theatre. So because it was a yellowish kind of looking sky behind it, it's quite bare. So what I decided to do was I tried to add a little bit of graffiti that says "Rook's Rule!" exclamation point. So it's kind of Jacob and the Rooks have took over this area of Whitechapel, or area of London. And they're basically marking the territory. So I thought that was a nice little Easter egg to add. Obviously all repainted. And another thing that I quite liked is these Tales from Midnight statues. They have these overgrown vines stuck out. So what I decided to do was I decided to repaint them, and then I added some I tipped it on its back, and then on its side, because there's more on the side as well. And then I added some PVA glue to all the areas, and then scattered on some grass scenic scatter, which is normally like classed with like model railways. It's like what modelers had for like big like snow, grassy areas like hills and stuff. So what I did was I added that, but once it's dry, it's still bright green. So I took some dark green and watered it down with PVA glue, and then added that, and that gave it added a second coat, so none of it's going to flake off or fall off. And then obviously it tints it a dark green, and then once dry, I went back over with some gloss varnish, so it's got like a wet kind of like seal to it, so it looks like proper moss now. So the little tip there for you if you're a modeler and you want to make some moss. It's very easy to do. On the actual base of the Tales from Midnight statue, on this back area, it's like just like an empty area, which is supposed to represent this is the wall and this is like the top of the building, and obviously the superheroes running across the top of the building. But obviously this bit, I love this bit, but it's quite bare. So what I thought, what could I add that's relevant to the game, that's like a rectangle shape that would fill out nicely. So what I decided, or what I come up with, was what those like treasure chest, like money box things that's scattered around the city. So basically, all that is I had a small off-cut rectangle piece of wood, and then I added all the individual slats with. If you ever go to like a restaurant or like a coffee bar, they sell. Oh, no, sorry, they don't sell. They give away these like little tiny thin coffee stirrers. So basically, it's just a few of them cut up, sanded, glued on with PVA glue, added on the sides as well. And then once dry, I went around the top and the sides as well to add the extra like the support beams, I suppose. And then Abe's epoxied this part with a lock, and then just added these like little studs that I got from a sewing shop. Just went over it all with another coating of PVA glue, and then once dry, I just painted it up. But I think it works really well. There's also some like little hinges on the back there. So there's a little detail that you actually don't get to see unless you pick it up and look. I was originally going to think about pinning that to there and gluing it, but I thought, well, you know, because I'm thinking about selling this, so the person that buys it, they might want to display like that up there, like hidden away or over here. So instead of me just telling them, oh yeah, it's meant to go there, obviously it's their choice. I didn't glue down Jacob or the cane because I thought it would help with packaging, and also the person that buys it, they might want to, they might have a display of their own, or they might want to make a display so they can just like swap and choose displays, like so many months of the year they display it like that, and then they might get sick and then they might want to make their own or something. So basically, the cane comes out. It's just a tiny little hole there that fits to the bottom of the cane perfect, and then obviously Jacob just lifts up. So Jacob's pinned via his feet, and then the base, as you can see there's just three holes. So as you can see, you can't see none of where the old holes used to be, and obviously it's been like Abe's epoxy and sand down, so they won't like cave in or anything. So that is as it is. So yeah, so you just pop Jacob back on, put the cane back in, line it up with his hand, so his thumb's in the way. Come on Jacob, work with me here. There you go, and then I sometimes like to have the end of the... Sorry. I usually like to have the end of the cane poking out there, so you can see it's like a end of a rook's nose or an eagle's nose or wherever it's supposed to be. So yeah, so all in all, I think these two statues complement each other really well. I didn't do much repainting on Jacob. He's more or less as he comes. The only thing that I highlighted was I did some silver outline to his waistcoat, because they never did that on the models for some reason, but he does have them in the game. I had to repaint the shoes from where I took him off, the boots, sorry, where I took him off the original base, because the plastic kind of like stuck a little bit, and then it went a bit yellow, not yellow, sorry, white. So I had to repaint the boots, and then I added just a few more little bits of mud and like stuff on the back of the coat, and then just added a few little highlights here and there, but nothing really worth like mentioning, because it's just like a few little highlights. So yeah, so all in all, I think these two statues worked really well together. I really like how it came out. If you like this, please don't forget to click the like button. And if you can share this on Facebook and Twitter, it'll really help me out, guys, because it helps new people find my channel and obviously my Facebook pages, etc., which I'm really appreciative of. And don't forget to subscribe for future builds. And nothing else to say, but thank you for watching and see you next time. Thank you very much. Goodbye.